Welcome everyone to Seoul OGN Stadium as we bring to you this year's World Championship for the Blade&Soul tournament. My name is Joel Sophie, joining with me for another year. It's going to be ending live. We covered the Korean series just a few months back, and now we're here very much ready to invite all these foreign attendees to come here and compete with us, because it's our first year doing the Shackle Out here in Blade&Soul tournament. But it's been pretty interesting from the domestic side of things, and now that we have all these players coming all around the world, how do you think it's going to turn out?
Well, I don't know. This is the first year, like you just said. It's not like the previous tournaments, the 1v1s and the tag matches, right? Like, if it was that, I can predict, oh, this team, this region was strong previous years. But this Shackled Isles World Championships, first time for the both of us, for you guys as well who's watching. So I can't predict anything except for what he just mentioned, the domestic side. We've had the meta of the tree camping, right, during the regular seasons. I'm curious if we're going to see some of that again, or if the foreign, some of the foreign teams as we know it in like 3v3 and like even 1v1s, there are more aggressive teams, aggressive regions. So maybe that may just change things up.
And you know that some of the teams, that even in Korea, they went on the more aggressive end.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of the teams like HJH and a little bit of the ABC coming in here as the two Korean representatives. They were on the more aggressive side of things. And in the end, getting more of those kills and getting more consistent rank points, in the end, got them to be in this World Championship slot. So, like I said, camping is part of the game, trying to up your rank points as much as you can, trying to survive to the end. But it seems like the killing is going to be a part of that necessary point to get you a lot of success in this game.
Yeah, exactly. And, one of the teams that actually didn't make it, unfortunately, was Hongmoon HGM, who actually did very well by camping.
Yes.
Camping well, right? Like, you guys may say, oh, how do you camp well? But, like, they got the positions of great, positions to pick people off by one. But we'll get into that a little bit later when we have a little bit more time to talk about that. But this is the overview.
Okay, let's look at the overview of the tournament that we are going to be having for the next 2 days. First half is today, and the second half of this qualifying round will happen right after this broadcast. So we'll have 2 total broadcasts in this same day of Sunday here in Korea, but we will have the grand finals next Saturday. That's going to be at 1700 Korean Standard Time, and sure to join us because we will be in a brand new stadium just to have this grand final. It's going to be a big venue.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure the players are going to be already excited to have their chance to go up there. But other than that, we do have the point matrix just the same as the kind of qualifying rounds we had in Korea and all around the world. It is going to be that 11 points for that first place, and this goes independently. So if you have 3 players within the team for every team, you can get a total of 33 rank points if all 3 of your members stay alive until the end. And you really have to kind of know exactly what your priorities are, because staying alive with as many members as you can within a team is going to be very important.
Exactly, and you see that little star there, explaining the rules that Joel just told you guys about. And when we see it, it's individual points. So it's a 3-man team, but you guys may say, oh, it's individual, so like just one person can carry. But that's not the case, because it is individual, each player on your team will get separate rank points, separate kill points. So it makes it even more of a team game, because one person staying alive won't give you all the same rank points, right? If 2 players die super early, you get negative points, and then you have 1 player that can't even fight a team, or like you can't do a 2v1 here. So that's not going to work out. It makes it even more of a bond as a team here.
Yeah, and let's look at the overview for the prize pool that we have here. A total of 179 million Korean won. That equals to about, right now the exchange rate is a little less than 1,000, so I would think about maybe $150,000.
Yeah, roughly.
I think that's going to be a pretty good estimation. So in the end, we do have 60 million won, which kind of easy calculation is $60,000 in America. And you will be awarding that to the first place. So everybody going for that first place, trying to get that fame back, because now we know that it's not going to be all about Korea. Since last year, Russia getting first place, and we know that China getting second, and Korea not even coming close to that. Kind of tells us the history of Bladeandsoul has been rewriting itself in recent times, and we kind of expect 2019 to be just as competitive.
Exactly. You guys see the teams that are participating this year in this year's World Championships. A total of 18 teams from 9 different regions, and you got to keep in mind that ever since last year's World Championships, we don't have like, you know, 3 teams from Korea and like 1 team or 2 teams from other regions, right? Every region has 2 teams representing that region. It's all equal. Everybody got the same thing. We're all on the same patch, and you saw the rulebook. Nobody's gonna use Archer just because maybe some region got that patch a little bit earlier or faster. So everybody is on even ground, even playing field. So we'll see, you know, how this turns out, because I see a Thailand team that says, is that 102? I thought it was 1002 IQ.
Yeah, it's QIOO2.
That confused.
We'll learn with time
Yeah,
exactly what that means.
Uh-huh.
We'll get some time to ask the players here and there, but we do have 9 regions representing 2 teams per region, so 18 teams in total, and we do have 3 players each. So if our quick maths do us justice, 18 times 3, ending. Take it over.
What? 18 times 3?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, come on.
46.
54.
50.
It's 54, isn't it?
Oh, it is.
Get some time to ending.
Yeah.
It is 54, right? So we have 54.
It is early
players.
for me.
That's
my excuse.
We got here very early. I think I got up at 6 a.m. in the morning. When did you wake up
I
today?
got up at like 4 because I couldn't sleep.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, either way, we had to get here early, and it's early.
You know, we're getting ready to produce this broadcast for you guys, and it takes a lot of work getting up in the morning. I know that us as gamers, we just don't like to do that, but you know, all complaints aside, it is a great event and it's a great turnout that we're gonna have, because something that we want to be exactly heard of, because all the fans around the world, whether you're from NA, from EU, all from the Southeast Asian regions, and even from China, and even from Japan as well. We got a lot of different regions being represented here, and we know that the fans around the world will be cheering for the respective teams. So, like we said, it's not all about Korea. Since last year, that history has been rewritten, and we can expect all the teams to really put up a competitive fight. I'm really excited to see how that turns out.
Exactly. Very excited to see so many different regions come here into this tournament. But we're going to have a surprise for you very soon. You guys are seeing that the event that you guys never could participate unless you're playing in the Korean server, unless you're in Korea, right, with like the Korean social security number or whatever. But I think this year is going to be a little bit different.
We've heard things that actually the global participants and our viewers are able to participate in these events.
Yeah.
Once we get a specified page, we'll get you guys up on that. But yeah, I'm excited because we always have to kind of, you know, backdoor out of making up excuses of why you guys can't participate all the time. But it is exactly going to be a thing. So, you know, one of the ways you can participate this year in the World Championship is by going on your live streaming platforms or wherever you guys might be watching. And there is an extension link that you can go on to, and you can see the Blade&Soul extension. And once you get on that, just set up your region that you're watching from, and then once you have watched a certain amount of minutes, be sure to click the reward button, and you can get some of the sweet prizes in game. And I think the standards right now are 50 minutes of watch time and 120 minutes of watch time, and we'll give away 3,000 people for the 50 minutes and the first 500 for the 120-minute mark. So watch as much as you can of this Blade&Soul tournament, and be sure to click that reward button to get all these sweet rewards. If 500 people have already clicked on the 120, you won't be able to get it, so try to click as fast as you can. So that's kind of our niche on the first rewards that we can give out to you guys. We're very, very proud to do that. But
exactly.
This is the on-site event that you guys, unfortunately, will not be a part of unless you came to Korea to watch this.
Yeah. That's a different story. But yeah, this is all in Korea, and if you're in the audience listening to us, like with the earphones on, because if you're in the audience, you're gonna be hearing the Korean casters. But yeah, we have a lot of events prepped for you guys. We have surprises coming for you at the grand finals as well, so you guys can expect great things from this event. And I don't know, are they gonna ever put down the events in English? Because like we said before, you guys can start participating in events now, at least if you're watching from online. But it's all in Korean.
Well, I mean, we can ask them about it afterwards. Yeah. But in the end, if we don't get anything in written English, we'll try to explain the best we can. Just try to get you guys caught up on point. And you know, but event is important, but we are very much waiting to get this game started, because Shackled Owls in a global rendition. It's a brand new story to talk about because we never had such an event before. We're coming in here in 2019 with all the domestic qualifiers that we had for Shackled Owls with so many players. Very excited to play this game mode, but kind of funnily enough, the players that were previously good at the 3v3 matches, the 1v1 matches, seem to do all right even in Shackled Owls.
Exactly. So when we're talking about the Korean events, for me personally, when we saw Hongmoon HGM do well by camping well and picking people off, the teammates in HGM weren't actually players that were great in 1v1 and 3v3. So we're like, all right, maybe Shackled Owls may change things up. But when we saw ABC step up, when we saw HJH step up, we're like, okay, maybe we're going back to the great PvPers. But here we go with the teams here from NA. We have GD. Ooh, are we gonna see some familiar faces here?
Nathaniel Logan. Wait, is that Ryuki?
No.
That's not right.
No, but
I remember that name, Nathaniel Logan.
Isn't it the Bears?
It could. Oh, I think you're right.
It's the Bears, and all the way at the end, it's
what's his name?
I forget his in-game name.
Holy cow!
You know why? I haven't seen him in such a long time.
We haven't seen him in a year. We haven't seen him
but
in a year.
We all know them.
Yeah, this is the Guardian team from NA, and this is going to be Stalker coming in from Vietnam.
Stalker.
So, I mean, depending on who they scout and who do you want to stalk, I really don't mind, but it's their choice.
Well, you'll be surprised with some of the names that these teams came up with.
Yeah.
We even have cheaters in here.
Well, we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
But, yeah. But for now, we do have two teams introduced to you guys. NA representing. We're going to have Guardian, and we have Stalkers coming in from Vietnam. Just a reminder, we do have 2 teams per region, 9 regions being represented in this tournament, and we have the first team from China, STJB. It doesn't really stand for anything that we're aware of, but they are just called STJB.
Yeah, and you see a very, very familiar face that hasn't come out in Blade and Soul tournament in a while, Jaifu Chen, the legendary Blade dancer that we remember him as.
Well, I mean, Jaifu Chen, I don't think I've seen him actually play.
Yeah, I think this is your first time because when you joined, he didn't come.
This is my 3rd World Championship casting in Blade and Soul, and this is the first time Jaifu Chen has made an appearance. So you talked about him a lot.
Oh yeah,
you did. And
he's a legend.
We just never got to see him, so we'll get to see at least some of his Blade dancer mechanics in Shackled Owls. We'll see how much we can see out of him for that.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be honest. We don't know every single player that's participating here. We don't know every single region, or who is a star player, or if it's a very balanced player, a team rather. But Jaifu Chen, this guy is a legend. And now on your screen we have from EU, DB. What does that stand for?
Debug.
Debug.
That's what they're
debug.
I like debugging because whenever you have bugs and whenever you have to kind of slow things down on the broadcast, if they can debug everything that has been bugged, we'll have a great broadcast.
Yes, we will.
Yes, we will.
Yes, we will. But I hope that there's no situation where we need debugging.
Yeah,
right.
For
no
the
delays
for the actual participants of the tournament. So for Patillon, and we do have Andre and Stefan, kind of just really easily using their first names as their in-game names, which is really convenient.
And we do some players right now in the middle. Andre, he doesn't even have a mouse pad.
Really?
They're playing on the table.
The mouse technology is getting so much better nowadays that
I still would rather play.
Even the guy at the end, he doesn't have a mouse pad.
Well, it's their preference.
Well, I still got my mouse pad because it's not the top technology. But we are having another team from Taipei this time around. It's going to be Mr. X. Literally, it's going to be the extension of what their team is called. No other longer name for that. It's
I was looking for it. I was
like,
oh, what does that stand for? But it's just Mr. X.
It's just Mr. X. Whatever that X stands for, we'll never know.
Yeah, maybe there's an X-Man on the team.
Could be, could be. So we get another team from Taipei, actually. Who's this going to be? PGG. Pengan G, actually.
Yeah.
So we remember Pengan D.
Yeah, but this is actually the members, well, not all the same members, but we have a couple members from the old school Pengan D.
True, yes.
So I understand why the name is very similar.
They upgraded from Pengan D to Pengan G.
Yeah, they did.
They went up a couple of letters, actually. So
3 letters.
Very impressive. So I think they do a little bit of upgrading here and there. So I think they got 3rd place 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I think that's how I remember it. But they didn't do so well last year. But I think they can have a good chance this time around to do well this year. And we get our first Korean team here, HJH. We know that stands for Han Junho. Junho Han being represented by his former teammates from the GC Busan era. But here they are, Yoonjae, Hyuki, and Yoontae ready to play once again.
Exactly. Hyuki basically replacing that position. But yeah, Junohan or Hanjuno or Eyebrow Master, Blade Master, previous known as that, is in the military. So they just literally just took his name in the remembrance of Junohan. We'll see how well they do. And you got, all the regions, all the teams that you see right now, they have placed first and second to represent themselves. So all these teams are gonna be formidable.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say homage to Junohan, but he's not dead. So
Yeah,
So I don't think we should use that word,
No,
but
yeah.
he's in the army, which is, I guess, for some people it's close to dying because it's just such a terrible experience for some people. But he's not dead.
Yeah,
He's all right.
not dead.
He's all right.
Yeah, he might. You never know what's gonna happen, but yeah, he's not dead yet. And now on your screen from Russia, Blackout BO. This is the previous year's world champions.
There they are, first place from 2018 Bladeandsoul World Championship. Blackout from Russia, exact same team, the same members. We had Arshimoglu, so we got Alexei Golkovenko, and we also had Pilisha Vyacheslav. We got all of the team here, guys. So this exact same members that produced the first place team from last year's championship. We'll see how they do because they got first place in their domestic qualifiers in Russia. So seems like their Shackled Ales games are pretty good as well.
Yeah, and we're talking about how being good in PvP in general is going to help you out. And now from Japan, Noonsang Fan Club, NFC. I'm actually trying to get used to the abbreviations more because we're gonna be seeing that a lot in game.
Yeah.
But look at that. Look at their masks representing Japan.
I am very, very sure that Tatsuki was the one that really promoted these masks.
Yes,
I don't think Satoshi would have come up with this idea initially. I think Satoshi's really aggravated right now that he has to wear this mask. But Tatsuki, we know him. He's the one that really pushes these kind of things on the line. He's been big about cosmetics last year, so this year expect nothing different.
Yeah, he was the summoner. He's still playing the summoner. He drew cat whiskers and he wore cat ears even. So we'll see. These masks definitely not gonna help out in game at least.
Okay, so we do have our first female player being represented.
Okay.
This time for Japan, Daichi, Mika, and Ken. Representing MSD, what does MSD say?
My Sugar Daddy.
Oh, My Sugar Daddy. So whose daddy are they talking about? I mean, it's got to be one of these three. They're not siblings, I'm sure.
The meaning of Sugar Daddy means, you're giving a lot of money to a female.
Oh,
that's why the female. So it's kind of like it's like the opposite of a gold digger.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you're expecting Mika's daddy is going to be the My Sugar Daddy.
No, I'm assuming Daichi and the other player next to him, the two guys are going to carry.
Okay.
No, I don't want to say that. That's very biased.
Oh, was
saying that they're gonna carry the female, but
goodness.
That's their team name, My Sugar Daddy.
My Sugar
They
Daddy.
have to be the daddies.
We're gonna find out who's going to be the My Sugar Daddy on that team once the games actually begin. But another team, this time from Thailand. This is QIOO2.
Oh yeah, this is the one that I mistake for IQ 1002.
Yeah, they don't have 1002 IQ, not even combined. I'm sorry to say that, but this is PUN, KOW, and Nick. Not that hard to pronounce.
Oh yeah, that's it. That's great.
Pao Nick.
Pun Pao Nick.
Well, you didn't have to say it like that.
No, I had to say it like that fast.
Oh
like,
really?
Pun Pao Nick.
You didn't mean to say it in a very Thai way.
Oh no.
Oh okay,
no,
that's what it sounds like to me.
No, Pun Pao Nick.
Pun Cow Nick.
Not cow, it's Pao.
It's KOW.
Oh,
it was KOW. Yeah, it was.
Maybe I'm out of it today. Oh, it is? No, it's cow.
It is cow. That's what I said.
Okay, I'm sorry. But another team
from Thailand, they are pretty easy as well. So Thailand teams, they're doing us very much justice to pronounce their names. Bank, Rack, and Mine. From CT, what does CT stand for?
I'm looking for that right now.
They're the cheaters. They are the cheater team.
They're the cheating team.
They just proclaimed they are the cheaters.
Yeah. Their team name is Cheaters. We're not making fun of them. We're not being biased or anything.
No,
they named their team Cheater.
They just told us they were the cheaters.
Yeah.
And one of the guys' name is Bank, so cheating in a bank usually means robbery. Go on and on with that. But here we are, ABC from Korea. All right. We do have Hyungyu Kim, Shingun Kim, and Kyungmin Park. The team that came in second in the regional qualifiers here in Korea are here in the World Championship for Shingun Kim's first appearance in the World Championship in a long time, actually.
Definitely is. He didn't make it last year, and he felt very bad, and he always says, I'm going to go to the military, right? never went for the past 2 years.
Yeah.
And he still didn't go yet. So I don't know when he's gonna go. Junohan left, so I would have assumed that he would have gone with him. But yeah, here he is. Here they are.
Shinga Kim's a lot younger, but you know he hasn't made a World Championship appearance, I believe, in 3 years.
I think this is the 3rd year.
Yeah,
so he made it. So
in
he
3
didn't make it
years.
in the
In 3 years.
in 3 years.
So
in the 3rd year, which is this year. he made
yeah.
it.
So because I think when I started casting it, I casted 3 World Championships now. This is my 3rd one, and it's my first time seeing Shinga Kim in the World Championship, which is really glad to see.
Yeah, but now on your screen we have EX Extremum from Russia, Vlad, Sasha, and Maxim.
The only person I remember is Maxim Ivanov. He was so
Yes.
good at the Blade Master. He cut his hair though. His hair was significantly longer last year.
He cleaned it up, but the other 2 players, we actually never got to see them in any of the previous World Championships, but Maxim, I gotta say, was like God.
Oh, Bill Rask is here
Oh!
from the EU. I remember him, and he had a significantly
Brother Bill!
different hairstyle last year.
Yeah!
He had a pretty shaved cut last year.
Yeah, he had a short haircut, but you know, this is what happens when you're practicing.
I guess you don't have time enough. You don't have enough time for a haircut, I guess. But yeah, HOB. What do they stand for? Hide on bush. Are you serious?
Oh gosh!
I'm gonna say
well,
I'm gonna
the people that know it know it. But
I'm gonna say I don't understand that reference.
Yeah.
Because I only cast Blade and Soul. I don't cast any other games, so
there's no bushes to. Actually, there are bushes to.
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
Actually,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's
All right.
not actually from a different game. It has nothing to do with any reference that you guys might initially come to mind. It's literally, he just wants to hide in a bush in Blade and Soul in Shackled Owls. But we do have another team from China, FNO.
Fear no one.
Fear no one. Okay, got it.
All right, that's a pretty straightforward team name here.
I do remember Haoren Shen from last year. Do we see Zhao Junzu from last year?
We did. Yeah.
Shihao Zhang? I don't remember.
I'm not sure about Xiao Zhang. But the 2 players on your left
Haoren.
definitely have experience, and they actually did pretty well representing China. Not, you know, they didn't get 1st or 2nd, but still they put up a fight with the other teams that they participated in.
True.
But another team from Vietnam, Muda. Actually, they have 3 Mudas, but, you know, abbreviated into 1.
Okay, so this is a team called Muda from Vietnam.
Yep. And
Team
I don't
Tuan
recognize any of them.
Huang, and yeah, I don't recognize anyone. By the names, I don't remember seeing them last year, but I mean, we could be wrong. It was 1 year ago ending. It was 365 days ago that we have to remember this from, and some players we do remember, some players we don't. Okay, so let's see if we remember anyone from here. I think I've seen Peter Callahan from last year.
I remember 2 players. I remember Zach as well.
Yeah,
so
Zach Howard, I remember him.
I don't know.
Braden Lacrosse. No, I remember him.
Oh, was
he
there?
he was here last year for sure.
Yeah, but SM means self-made.
Self-made.
So we'll see how self-made they are and prepped for this.
How do we see how self-made they are? I think.
Well, their performance.
Okay, so
yeah,
that
how they made themselves to get here. Obviously, they did well to make it here, at least to the World Championships. But now it's totally different level.
Well, here we are, 18 teams, and it's going to be a lot of players playing in this one. And I did get the notice that I think we're going to have the top 10 teams go to the grand finals after all this. So 8 teams will be eliminated after today. We have 6 rounds in total. We'll play the first 3 rounds in our first half of the broadcast, and we'll take a bit of a break, and we'll go to rounds 4 through 6 in the second half of our broadcast. So we got a lot of Blade and Soul to play today, a lot of Shackled Owls, and we're about to get into the first round. Let's get into it to see how the players will perform. Very exciting to get this started. The World Championship 2019 for Blade and Soul tournament. 9 regions being represented here, and 2 teams each coming from each region, and we'll have 18 teams right now. See if they can really make themselves go up to that grand finals by being the top 10.
All right, so we do see all the teams and players spreading out from the center. We're gonna be, I'm gonna just apologize in advance because now we have to look at their abbreviations, the team abbreviations, and I might not be able to catch them because we talked about this even during the Korea qualifiers, where all these teams, we know the players from Korea, right, at least, but the team names, they changed it up so much that when we look at the team, like the players that belong to the team doesn't come to mind like straight away. Like even DB, like what does
Debug,
DB? Yeah,
debug.
debug. Yeah,
They're gonna help us. They're gonna help us
exactly.
You know,
This is gonna happen throughout this.
I
At
actually,
least the first couple games.
I actually watched Modern Family recently,
Oh,
and
yeah.
the main character, he actually did this thing of like how to memorize names because he's so bad at memorizing names. He just
So how do you do it?
went through so many, like 9 different phases of remembering a name. And so an example is like,
Did you learn?
I kind of did. It's like I only watched a segment of it, but he was like, you know, this guy, he really needs to get a fishing bowl, right, before his fish. So he went to the fishing bowl and talked to a cashier named Nick.
Yeah.
And Nick told him about a friend named Brandon. And then Brandon, he said he's not actually working at a fish company because Nick actually works at the fish company.
Okay.
So in order to get the fish bowl, he went over to Nick, but then found out about Brandon. And we figured out that Brandon actually works at an engineering company. And by going to the engineering company, he figured out that his college has to do something with Georgia because he was from Georgia.
Yeah.
And from Georgia, we know one of the city there maybe was Trent, right? So he remembered that guy was Trent.
Okay.
That's how he remembers the name.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
I mean, Modern Family, they do
No,
that.
no,
so.
no, I'm not gonna. That's way too long to remember one person's name.
Hey, let's go through 2 phases here for DB.
We can't do that for 54 players.
Hey, what about for DB? DB, we can do 2 phases. DB, we need someone to debug out of our system whenever we get bugs. So
yeah,
we remember
see,
them
that's the thing. If I see DB, now I'm gonna remember debug. But if I can't even remember DB standing for debug, I can't even get started with the players.
Well, we're going to have to work through this because for 18 teams today, it's going to be mildly more difficult. But once we get down to 10 teams, and after we've seen them for 6 rounds in a row, I'm sure we'll get to the use of it a little bit more.
Yeah, I hope so. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, it's a lot of names.
That's a deep sigh right there. Yeah, a lot of names, a lot of new names as well mixed in. But what bothers me, well, not bothers, but like, you know, what's the hardest thing for me is just the team names have changed. Like Noonsang Fan Club, like we've seen them like over and over and over again. Like we know a couple of the teams, but you know, majority of the teams, they came up with a new name. Even the in-game names, they changed it. They're using their first names.
Yeah.
You know, some might be using their last names. I'm not too sure, but so many changes have been made, and we do see the first circle pop up to the left.
It's going to be on the western side, so we'll get a little bit of action going on there, and the players from the east have to kind of rotate in. Still, there's plenty of time for the circle to get in and start damaging the players, and both of them enough for them to sneak in there from the eastern side. But for now, Noonsang Fan Club, you see them right now just casually walking across, finding out the terrain and see what items will be available, and if any of the territories right now in front of them will have been collected.
Exactly. So that is a very small skirmish. Well, it didn't break out, but it was about to break out here with Team 11 and 12 or 13. And there we go. The fight has begun.
So we're looking at FNO.
Yep.
Here no one is the team name. We'll see how much of that really affects them right now. For now, nothing real crazy in this first round of things, and just kind of roaming around the outside of the circle just to get themselves safe enough. And none of the teams seem too bothered right now to get into a fight right away.
Yeah, you know, you're gonna be seeing, you know, half and half kind of plays. And when I mean half and half, meaning some teams will just stay on the outskirts and follow the circle in. Some teams will go to the center and try to just always be in the center, take over the center. The play style will be different for all the teams, and even in the Korean prelims or qualifiers, we saw a team that literally just did like the Dragon Ball meta, where like all 3 players just landed different places, and they're like, all right, we'll survive till the end and we'll meet up when like the circle gets small. And obviously it didn't work out, but I'm hoping to see different kind of play styles, different strategies. You know, one of the biggest difference that we could see is some teams get Master Hong, some teams don't. So see about that as well.
The usage of the Master Hong will be important for the kind of the remainder of these games. If you do want to do well, take advantage of all the resources you can get in this game. And That means going over to those Manticores and trying to gain your buff of the Master Hong while Mind is doing a lot of spinning. So he's having a lot of fun.
That seemed a little dizzy for me right there.
Wow. He's doing all right. Gonna get Stalker in here.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how they do.
You're good with the names. I was just about to look for, what is STK again? And then you're like Stalker. I was like,
I'm doing all right, Andy. I'm doing all right.
All right.
Well, CT gonna help me out here with this one. CT, what does that stand for?
Cheater.
That's the cheaters. Yeah.
That's the cheaters. I think they should have just done CH.
Yeah, CH would have been all
yeah,
right.
like, just the first 2 letters, but.
No, but it could have made it look like China. So
Oh, okay. Understandable.
yeah.
You know what CT reminded me of?
What does it remind you of?
Counter-terrorist.
It reminded me of chemotherapy. I don't know what else it reminded you of. I mean,
What?
I mean, it's the most real-life term closest to CT, in my opinion.
Counter-terrorist.
Oh, come on. Nobody uses that in real life.
Counter-terrorist.
Oh, my goodness.
It's because I watched a lot of 24.
24?
Yeah, the series.
Yeah. I'm sure 24 had chemotherapy.
You know what that is? Like, it's about counter-terrorist
Sure.
stuff. But anyways, yeah, we do have another fight going on. I thought it was a 3-way, but it is a 2-way fight. Debug, I remember that, versus Muda.
Now, Andre is very, very in a dangerous situation. He does get knocked out and killed. So, very unfortunate situation for Debug, who really wants to do well in this first round. Might be down to one last member unless that one member can survive. So, does slip out of there for now. So, Muda is just going to let him by. One member still after the chase. Get to him. Oh, my goodness.
Now we know he can.
Fathion not going to survive for any longer.
It was an EU versus Vietnam, but Vietnam comes out on top.
Yeah, all these escape tools used for that first time, but cannot get away from the second time around. So Debug, team from Europe, loses 2 members already in this round 1 and will be struggling to get a lot of points in this first round of things.
Yeah, like I said, this is definitely different. If you guys know any other or played or watched other, Battle Royale games, maybe 1 or 2 players can carry, and there's a Manticore right there. But as I was saying, this game is not like that because it is RPG based. 1 player, it's very hard to go up against 2 players or 3 players. Whereas other Battle Royale, it could be possible, but now already Debug losing 2 members. That's a very, very, very bad start. I'm gonna just put it out there.
Yeah, and
-4 points.
True. And Team Guardian, you saw there from NA picking up that Manticore, so we'll get the first rendition of Master Hong. See how they use it, especially in the late game. We know that it can be very prevalent to use it properly, and you get a lot of advantages for that if you can use it right.
Yep. And now on screen, Mr. X from Taipei. They're doing all right, and the circle, as you see it on the minimap, it's getting pretty small now. And this is what usually happens even in the Korea prelims, where we're going to have a lot of the players and teams alive at the end. And that's why Joel was talking about how important, or some teams consider Master Hong very important, because it can tank for your team, it can CC for your team to create opportunities.
Yeah, and we'll see how much of this plays a big role in the end. So we are still looking at some scouts up on the trees, this time from Debug. He has to scout because he obviously can't get in a fight by himself. Stefan, in a pretty dangerous situation. See what his options are later on.
All right, Guardian right there on your screen.
Okay, so Guardian was Team 18. That actually was written number 1 for me, so I think that number 1 team might be a different team.
Oh, yeah.
Picked up the Manticore, so.
Yeah, the thing that we wrote down on our papers, the numbers are different.
I guess so, yeah. Well, look at this. It seems like Nusan Fan Club was going to get involved in a fight, but Guardian just kicks him out of there. Retains to their territory. Looking at Chenzo now, after putting a little bit of poke onto his opponent, will go up in this tree to see what his options are and to give some scouting reports over to his teammates for the later runs.
And this circle is getting way, way too small with so many players alive. And I don't know if you guys seen the career prelims or your region's qualifiers where, Strength Sapper, Cat Paw, there are some items that we see over and over again because, they're used and they're very, you have to use it delicately, but when you do use it right and correctly, it's going to basically give you points. And if you use it wrong, it's gonna hurt your team. So we'll see if any of that will come out late game, even in the World Championships.
And I actually saw the gravity surge being put into a lot of good use later in the tournament. But
Debug.
that's our update for Debug. They are out at last place and still have 50 players remaining, which means they got -2 points for all 3 players, right?
Actually, it's -2 when we start with 60 players.
Okay.
So we start today with 54 players total, right? Because we have 18 teams. So starting 55 to 51, it's just -1. So that means -3 points.
Yeah.
So we won't be seeing any -2 points today.
Okay, so interesting to know. But we are going to see exactly what we can expect from Tema. Blackout.
Yep.
Team from last year who did win the World Championship does get out of there for now. So this Russian team who wants to do well to get themselves in a better situation as we look at Alexei trying to hold on to this enemy's aggression until the other teammates can revive back up. But it's going to be fear no one from China trying to fight along with the Russian team. Does get kicked out. Loses a little bit of HP. We'll see the conclusion of this fight, whether it does go over to the favor of the Russians or the Chinese.
Yeah, and right now I can't say early game, but you know, this use of utilities right now because of this 3v3 breaking out is going to hurt them because there's still so many players alive. And look how far he got thrown out. But oh gosh, not good at all.
Okay, so team 14.
Yeah, Blackout is.
All right, look at this.
Another one.
Guardian. We saw them putting the aggression earlier around this edge of the circle, but they're losing a lot of members now. Muda losing a member. We're going to see exactly what happens from this one. You can see another Russian team taking full advantage of the situation.
Wait, did we get that team elimination right now?
No, I don't think so. I think Guardian lost 2 players for sure, but I didn't see the 3rd player going out. But it's going to be Extreme on picking up all those kills, getting a lot of points.
That's the point. They got the kills, and all 3 members are alive. So now, starting now, we have 39 players left, which means we're going to start getting +3 points for all the players that are alive individually. So from now, just staying alive, getting +1 point, I think it may be less riskier to try to go for kills and lose a member early, or maybe even, you know, get wiped.
And we'll see what the strategies are. You just kind of opt to play it safe and pick up a couple of points where you're going to be a little bit more risky trying to get a couple of kills and try to go to the end with a lot of momentum in your favor. That's going to be the question now. As we looked at Penganji just a little bit earlier, hovering around the edge. Now they're going to be traveling uphill to meet up with
So
Muda.
many different. Yeah, we have Muda. We had another team here.
Yeah, we didn't get a good glimpse of that, but we're looking at Blackout once again having a lot of trouble. You can see that Alexei has lost a lot of health already, and Extremum actually, they got a lot of kills. They do lose Maxim over there. And now we're going to see a lot of fighting going on in this part of the area.
Ooh!
And so many kills coming through, and all of a sudden, down to half of the
my
members.
Goodness! Wait, was it a gravity surge? I missed it, but I'm assuming it is because...
Oh, the Blade Dancer ultimate further adding some damage, down to 24 members now, and really hard to keep track of.
Yeah, the kill feed is going crazy.
Yeah, it's true, and 21 all of a sudden. I think we started with about 45 there. Just about 30 seconds ago, and we lost so many members now. 19 down, and now down to 18. Down and down in this number count, and you can see that Hanjuno HJH is still staying alive in this one.
Yeah, we at the bottom we see Muda versus Penganji here. So now we have the first floor fight and the second floor fight separated out.
Muda definitely gets more of the points there for taking out so much HP of Penganji. We'll see if they can fight back right now because Penganji is looking like they're on the losing end of things for now. But Muda, you can see that one member has lost a significant amount of health. Can he heal back in time? That's going to be the question. But no, it's going to be Muda losing out on this one. Penganji picking up the kill, and they're going to go in with a lot of points now and so many free items to choose from.
Yeah, just saw that Strength Zapper land beautifully, and Penganji was able to win in that fight, but that's not the end.
Yeah,
HJH, Hanjuno, they heard that. They came.
Coming in as a third party to pick up all those kills, and Muda is out with 2 players left remaining. How'd you know this team takes care of everything now and just pick up a lot of points, and they do have all three members alive. Look at that gravity surge bringing everybody down.
It's a party
and
house.
How'd you know wants to put in all the damage they can, and they are doing so. Muda losing their last member, and MSD losing one member now, and we'll see exactly what comes out of all of this. HAH still putting in the pressure to put in as much damage as they can. You can see that Yunjae has already turned into Master Hong, so this is that team one from earlier picking up that Manticore. Now Yunjae really trying to make use of this one, going up against ABC and CT at the same time. Yunjae picks up another kill, still going on to see how many more he can get.
There we go, Master Hong, definitely the tank, definitely the CC'er. He's doing his job. We'll see if he's able to outlast all the other members of ABC who are literally focusing down on Master Hong, but his HP isn't going down.
Okay, so who gets kicked down? That's going to be from Team 7. Kyungmin Park from ABC does get kicked out and will go down. Now we have 4 members
fighting outside.
remaining. And
They're fighting outside.
Gonna have this one player trying to stay alive as much as they can, but it seems like HJH does have the win in their bag. Who's the last member though? We see that 4th player not really visible on the screen right now, so maybe just hiding somewhere. But for now, it is going to be CT trying to fight this out, but we know it's going to be so tough. Strong already in the way, and there we go. Bank does go out.
All right, well, the last member of CT. Oh, well, that wasn't the last member. Okay.
They could have fought 2v2.
Yeah, well, I think it was because it was Master Hong. It's like we can't burst him down. He is way too tanky. But yeah, now he's finally caught.
Well, there we go. We know what's going to happen from this one. Definitely is not going to beat the Mastrong and Yuntaeson from that angle. So it seems like it's a matter of time before we see HAH pick up the kills in the end and pick up that first place. And cheaters, while they didn't cheat, they got a pretty decent result. And they do get knocked and just takes a little poke to end the game. Come on down, Mastrong. Finish that off for me.
Yep.
Finish
him off.
One little tap. One little tap.
Oh my goodness. Finish him off.
Oh, he's just trolling right now. He's
Oh
just trolling.
my goodness. He's
Come on, Yunjae.
Really?
He's
gonna self. Okay.
Well,
it's over. I was like, no, that's not gonna
the
work.
producers thought that is enough.
Yeah.
That is enough
That's
play.
enough.
And we do have our first place. HAH from Korea picking up that first place in round 1. They're really, really patient until the end. Wait, are we back in the game?
Seriously?
Oh, come on, producers.
Seriously?
You know the game is over. I guess they have to follow the rule book here of saying it's not over until it's actually over.
Yeah, now it's really over.
Can they play the music again now?
Yeah, they're gonna play the music again. But either way, we knew what was gonna happen. It was a 2v1.
Yay, it's over.
Yay, finally it's over.
And now we get the music again.
Yeah.
Well, that was anticlimactic a little bit, but we do have HH, our expected winners.
Oh my goodness.
From round 1. We announced to you again that they are the winners from round 1 from Korea. Did very well to third party in that last situation against Muda. I think that was a very important play to get them more and more momentum to finally summon that Mastrong in the late game. And we wish they had full advantage over so many opponents. And there weren't many left alive ending in the end. We knew that what was going to happen was 2v1 with CT at the end.
Yeah, 2v1 is basically almost undoable unless, like, you land your cat paws, you throw them out the circle, you land your strength sapper. Like, if everything goes to plan exactly as you think about in your head, that's the only case scenario where you might be able to do a 2v1, but that's not really gonna happen here. And now this is the scoring of each team.
Yeah, survival points looking pretty good for HAH with 31. The 2 players in the end left alive until the very end, so they do get the first place points, 11 each, so 22 with 9 points awarded for our third player of HAH.
Yeah, within the top 10 at least, from 5th to 10th place.
Top 10 for sure. They do get 9 kills in addition to that, so a lot of points acquired for HAH this first round. Good enough for them to feel happy about going to the rest of the tournament.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's a great start, and unfortunately for some of the teams that didn't have such a great start, I still think there's hope because we have 5 more matches left, and in this tournament and in all the prelims as well, there are minus points. So if you're able to hot drop onto some of the top teams and you want to kill them off early, if you're confident enough, and if you have the skills, it's still possible for the top tier teams to get brought down, because we've seen that happen from HGM in the Korean qualifiers. They were first for a very long time, but they couldn't make it to Worlds.
True, and we're gonna see what Cheater can do coming into basically third place overall after that game, because they didn't get that many kills, but they did get a lot of rank points. So for that first round, you see Cheaters doing enough to get third place overall, with Korea getting first on that round 1. So we'll come back to round 2 after a short break to see if Korea continue to put on their dominance.
And challenge expectations. So Intel will bring the processing power for when it's time to go. Brilliant. Frame rates that keep up with your reflexes. Brilliant. Fast clock speeds for when you're on the clock. Brilliant. It's what we do at Intel, powering you to master your potential. Will you rise? Intel. Unleash your brilliance.
Welcome back, guys, to the World Championship 2019 for Bladeandsoul, and we're here back for round 2 after round 1 went a little bit, I say this again, but anticlimactic. Because we kind of knew at the last few seconds who's going to win, but in the end, the person that we expected to win actually did win. My name is Joel Sylvie. Joining with me for another day here is Ending Life, and we're back for round 2. And after round 1 did go to the way of Korea, HJH picking up that win. We did have Thailand coming up what seemingly was looking like second, but because they didn't get as many kills as the other teams, they did come out in third in the end. But pretty good for Thailand, a region that did not do so well in the previous World Championship, coming out with at least a third place in that round 1, looking pretty good for them.
Yeah, definitely. To be honest, for any teams like even at the bottom of the bracket or bottom of the rank after round 1, they really don't have to worry too much, unless if that continues after into round 2 and 3, that's gonna build up nothing, right?
Yeah.
You're not gonna build up points. So, but why? The reason I say just the first couple rounds won't really matter unless you're if you're able to come back later on, is because you saw that if you get one first place with at least 2 players alive, you can roughly get like 35 to 40 points. So, you can catch up and make it into top 10. It's not like we're picking the top 2 like the regional qualifiers, right? So, you guys if you guys have fans and if you guys are fans of certain teams that aren't doing so well, don't get so down because they're going to have multiple chances to bring their ranks up.
Yes, true. The prize pools aren't being allotted today, so
Nope.
You have to really worry about getting to top 10, and that's the only goal that you have in mind. Of course, getting first place does help you get easily achievable towards that goal, but for a team like HJH, who did acquire about 40 points, as I remember, from round 1, should be looking pretty good to go up to the top 10, which we expected them to from the beginning of this tournament, but they are smiling. They're feeling pretty good about their performance in round 1. Let's see if they can continue into round 2 and have more success.
Yep, we'll have to see what happens as we get ready for our round 2, but I always have to remind you guys, it's not just HJM who got first in round 1 who is, the better team or the best team in this tournament, because all these players, all these teams, they had to go through the qualifiers. They had to get top 2 to make it here, so they know the taste of victory. They know what it feels like to do well in, a certain round or in each round. So I want to just see some comebacks. I want to see very close games in point-wise, obviously, that, as we move on to the later parts of the broadcast.
Yeah, we'll see what is very much needed for these teams to have a lot of success in Shakodaos. We thought that a little bit mixture of both camping and also fighting will do very well. I think timely fighting is very important, just picking out the right fights.
Yep.
Just going on that as hard as you can, which we saw HJH do. Third party on Muda Muda, as we remember from last round, and did so well. Pick up all those kills, pick up all those free items, and gain that momentum to carry on through, and eventually had that Master on at the end, which tanked so well for the other members to put in the damage. And seems like that strategy can work out, so the Manticore proving worthwhile once again in round 1. We'll see what happens in round 2 as we get into it. See if other teams will be going for the Manticores this time around as we begin.
Yep. There we go. Sword drops. The players have been released. Do see some of the fans that are here, mostly for the Korean teams here because it is Korea. We hear them screaming and cheering as we always do in Bladeandsoul tournaments.
Yeah, as we would like to remind you, we do have 9 regions being represented in this World Championship, and we do have 2 teams each coming from each region. So with Korea having 2 regions, ABC did fairly well. I think they did come in top 5, pretty close to that in the end.
Yeah.
And HJH obviously getting that first play with so many points acquired in that first round should really bring a lot of safety over to the Koreans, and from the fans' perspective for sure, to know that their team probably are going to go to the top 10 and go into the grand finals next week, which will be held on Saturday, by the way, guys. If you guys want to mark your schedule for the grand finals of this grand event, it will be on Saturday. We'll be going to a different venue. Olympic Park, I think, is where we're going to have the very
huge stadium.
Yeah.
Outdoor stadium. That's going to be huge. I've actually never been in it, so I don't know how big it's actually going to be or how they're going to set it up. But Bladeandsoul, they always do a great job, especially when it comes to World Championships.
It's true. When we get to the World Championship finals, the stage has always been grand, for sure. And it never has doubted us in my mind that the stage was going to be anything less than
great,
spectacular. So we are going to this second round, kind of expecting the same rotation of events where farming does heavily go along. No early fights really in that round. All right. As we just said that, we have Blackout, a team that has been a little bit disappointing in round 1, gets themselves into this early fight against SDJB. Blackout, former world champions from last year, 2018. Got a quick elimination in round 1. I'm sure they don't want to go through that phase once again in round 2.
So far, you guys can see top left, we started with 54 players. So everybody's still alive. They are able to get back into position, regroup, get away from SDJB, who started that fight in that house. So Nobody wants to do early fights unless you're doing, unless you're camping and hiding and ready to pick someone off like they just did right now. As I was saying,
how we kind of our comments lead to actual events.
That's great.
I love that.
But yeah, Muda gets a kill onto my sugar daddy, one of the Japanese teams. So unfortunately, they're gonna lose a member.
I think it's actually the female player that they lost. Mika.
Was it? Oh, was it Mika? Okay.
I think I remember her to be the one that really needs the sugar daddy. But now they're not gonna get it.
All these Japanese teams are getting picked off one by one, and this is not the way it should be. Katsuki.
Okay, the one that probably promoted the cat mask with the first one to die out. Nunsan. We're looking at Extreme now from Russia, getting into this fight
With
against
CT,
Cheater.
Cheaters.
That came out in 3rd place in round 1. Doesn't look like they will come out in 3rd place this time around unless they can survive. A lot of these members here, Extreme, pretty aggressive, trying to kill these guys off. But Cheater putting up a good fight though.
They are, but look at this Toxic Cloud. This is gonna do a lot of damage over time. If you, there we go. A lot of Toxic Clouds being used, especially from this Russian team here.
But Extreme did lose a member, so that's something to keep in mind. How many can they stay alive though? That's the big question as we look at Cheater trying to fight through this one. You see that Bank is trying to get inside the circle while trying to fight for this, and you see a lot of action in this middle ground. And oh, look at this, the Blade Master Maxim Ivanov showing his skills once again with the special. The ultimate will get one of the members down, and it's going to Bank the last man up. And Extreme will finish them off. So loses one member in the process, but Maxim Ivanov, as the great Blade Master that he is, shows us his prowess once again.
Definitely, and that was some chaotic fight using so many utilities early game. And as I was saying, using up utilities and items early on, yeah, if you're gonna win the fight, it's good. But you have to re-farm, because if it's early game, your opponent might not be as farmed, and another fight breaks out.
You can see that the kind of the trend has been moving towards that. The first round, they getting situated into this tournament, situated into this venue, and trying to get comfortable with the settings that you have on. And now that people do feel comfortable enough that in round 2, they're getting to a lot of these early fights, and we'll see how that really turns the tables here, because some teams like this one are just going to be sitting by, waiting for that mousetrap play for someone to crawl up this wall so they can grab a mice. Just trying to get as many things as they can, trying to get the kill points early.
Yep, and this is actually the position that HGM from the Korean qualifiers used here, like a mousetrap, like you mentioned. You wait for somebody to climb that wall, and you pick that one player off super quick and force the other 2 members of that picked off team to run away, and you just pick up a point for free, basically.
It's happened before. No one has climbed up that trap yet. Some fan club looking towards Satoshi. Sekimoto, you see Debug run away from all this because Debug is bullying him 2v1. We don't see the other member from NSC.
The ult.
The Blade Master ultimate, along with the chains, will be good enough to knock off Satoshi. Some fan club losing their 2nd member now, and I don't think we see the 3rd member nearby. And we'll see exactly what comes into play here. All we're seeing now is basically the Korean team, HJH, still surviving pretty nicely, but otherwise we're seeing a lot more early fights here ending, and talk about those utilities being burned early can really affect you in the late game.
It definitely can, unless you refarm them, unless the players or the team that you kill in the early game has looted enough that you kill them and you you take their loot. But if that's not the case, then like you said, early utility use is not gonna do you justice late game when you actually like Strength Sapper and Toxic Clouds are going to land on multiple players after using that Gravity Surge to group them up. I think that's a better use of the items. However, if using them keeps your team alive, gets you a point or 2 early game, I think that's obviously you have to go that way.
Yeah, we're gonna look at SM now, self-made. Braden looking at what his possibilities are. Still roaming around the edges like a lot of the teams are right now. You can see that.
Hide on. They should change their name. Hide on roof.
hide on roof.
Yeah.
HOR. HOR doesn't very look good.
Oh,
at,
okay, that is true.
It doesn't look very good on initials.
That is very true. I just realized that.
HOR.
HOR. Yeah,
That's a big boom right there.
The pronunciation is not gonna fly. So
of course,
yeah.
we would say HOR instead of pronouncing that word, but
yeah, let's skip that.
let's
let's
try to minimize all errors as possible. But we are looking at ABC, the other Korean team who didn't do as well as HGH, but still did decently well in the first round. Still looking for the right timing for them to go in, and they do see a team nearby. Are they going to pick up a fight? Usually ABC will look for their opportunities. Seems like Hyung Kim is looking for a spot to maybe get in there.
Just notice the spirit wall is closing in right now. So, you know, any teams like this right now, they're going for the Manticore, and now they're getting, I don't want to say third party, they're getting second party. But now, as the spirit wall closes in, you want to get into it because now the circle is getting pretty small and it's going to start hurting. It's going to force you to use some utilities to get into the circle if you don't get in on time, especially if somebody's gatekeeping.
We just saw HAH lose a little bit of health from that circle, the spirit wall, but does come in on time without much interruption from the other teams nearby, so that's going to be a good situation for them. Picking up that first place in round 1 will probably promote them to do the same in round 2, and they are definitely looking for the opportunity now with 45 players left remaining in this round 2 to see who's going to pull off the first strike, as we saw a little bit more of the early fights, which kind of got the number down to 44 as we have it, but still not as many fights as there could be. Still the teams are backing off. Any unnecessary fights here?
So as you see it, get a lot more vision here in Shackled Owls. We get to see a lot of three-way fights as well. I want to see some of that breakout here. Another fight breaking out as Cal just flies away as he's watching. He's enjoying the view.
There he is, STJB, for his opportunity now as we look on to him against Debug. We know that Debug picked up a lot of kills earlier.
Yep.
Can they get a little bit more? But actually they're going to lose Stefan here. That's going to be a member loss, and STJB likes the situation, wants to keep going with this one.
Oh, that's actually...
It's a Bladeandsoul ultimate hitting outside the circle, so that's very, very good for STJB. Picking up 2 kills now. Pantheon going down. Now with Debug in this middle part of the game where they got a couple of kills at the earlier points of this game, but losing basically all their members in this mid-game is not the situation they want.
Yeah, definitely not. Especially Debug had a great start, like you mentioned. They picked up a couple kills in the beginning, early on, without losing a member. But now that comes to haunt them. That comes to bite them. They had to keep that, pace going, that momentum, stay alive till the end to get that rank point. But they weren't able to do that. And Blackout, they're gonna play it passive. This is the way they want to go in round number 2. They tried the aggressive mode, didn't work out. They're going to try the passive mode now.
Yeah, I think aggressive does go to a point, but you have to be selectively aggressive. It's something that we always say, because picking out the right fights, it sometimes can be a mystery hole in itself, but once you pick out the right fights, you are really bound for victory, and we saw that HH did exactly that, third partying in that round 1 to eventually get that first place. But for Blackout, a team with high expectations all across the board for Russia, to see how well they can do in this round too. As we see Ken jumping up while climbing up the mines. So we'll see what MSD can do from their situation.
All right, so here we go. We do have a lot of cluster of teams here now because the circle is very small, and the next spirit wall, it's going to start closing now. So some crazy fights will start breaking out for positioning.
Yeah, we're looking at this now, and it's DJB picked up a couple of kills from earlier. We're just going to be landing on this roof, and we see another team nearby. 2 teams actually are going to be around this housing, and SDJB not going to opt for the fighting quite yet, just trying to pick up the right territory to gain control of, as we see Blackout. So going down, but you can say Gravity Surge did pull one of the man down, but not going to be too dangerous at this current timing.
That's the 2 Russian teams, Extremum and Blackout here. So we're going to see who will come out on top. It seems like Blackout is trying to stay passive still because there's still 40 players alive. They want to probably third party. They want to probably throw some strength sappers as other 2-3 teams are fighting to pick up some kill points. So we'll see if that will work out. But in the meantime, another fight breaks out, and Extremum takes out a member from My Sugar Daddy MSD. So another great kill point picked up there.
Yeah, we're looking at Extremum as the team that picked up a lot of kill points in this round 2 specifically. But what will that lead to in the very end? Once we look at the closing of this Spirit Wall, probably lead to a lot more fighting with 40 players still left alive in this very, very small circle that we have.
Yep, on the left, we do get the information that Extremum are already picking up 3 kills. Debug, even though they do have the 2 points, we were talking about how, you know, they weren't able to keep alive or keep their teammates alive. Only 1 member is alive. He won't be able to do much later on, especially when the circle gets small. Maybe he'll get like 1 lucky strength sapper able to pick up a kill or something like that. But like I said, he has to be very, very lucky.
You can see that Blackout is being super, super passive with their play, going as high as they can on this terrain. Alexei just kind of floating up in the air, looking towards Extreme member Vlad. You can see still just climbing up and down. Alright, we're going to this Mr. X situation. He on the ground. Looking at Blackout actually losing Tema on that situation. So Blackout just got down and loses a member just like that, so not the best situation. Now we're going to get this chaotic situation.
Yes, this is war.
This is 38 members in this very, very small circle. Fight is going to be inevitable.
And there's basically no terrain to hide or go on top of. Usually we have like a tree or a house or a huge wall, but now we don't have any of that basically. It's just open field. I want to see some crazy gravity surge, some crazy toxic clouds and strength sappers going on here.
Nothing crazy yet. We don't even see a single Master Hong on the field quite yet. We're going to see continual fighting from all across this map right now. And you can see the kill feed now starting to act up a little bit. HJH losing everybody on that situation. That's a little surprising. So HJH not going to have the game that they want in this round 2, getting eliminated fairly early here.
Oh my goodness. We had 40 players a couple seconds ago, and now we have 26.
Okay, and more players going down. You can see that Stalker losing players, SM losing players, TY also losing players as well. Now we're going to see Mr. X kind of by themselves without any opponents nearby, just going to take some time to get all the other battles collected here and trying to third party when their time is appropriate.
All right, so we do have Master Hong coming from ABC, one of the Korean teams. They love Master Hong. They think it's very useful to get the aggro of other players and allow your other teammates to do the damage while Master Hong tanks plus CCs. So we'll see if that will work out once again for one of the Korean teams. If not, which team will come out on top?
Yeah, SDJB still fighting against SM here, and see what happens from all of this. Looking at Master X joining in here. You can talk about the aggression that really is being pulled by the Master Hong. Oh, that gravity surge, drawing everybody in with that radius and putting a lot of members in danger now. So many people going out of the circle now, and that Shingen Kim, he's still trying to work with this Master Hong as best as he can. 9 members left now with so many going down. SDJB is still collecting a lot of kills here.
Yeah, and Shingen Kim Master Hong just took the full damage of Bladeandsoul, and he's still pretty healthy right now.
Okay, we're looking at more and more now. SDJB getting more and more kills as we know it. And Master Hong gonna go down by kicked out of the circle, and you can see what SDJB can do. The Chinese team coming in, see what their plans are in the situation against. Look at a couple of members, Hengan G, and also from FNO.
Jaifu, the crazy blade dancer, is going crazy once again, even in Shackled Isles.
There you go. Team 4 just gonna try to fight through this, and Blackout still has Slava left, but you know he's not gonna survive for very long. Just trying to kill 1 member before he goes out is going to be the strategy, but Slava...
Ooh, is that gonna work?
Getting caught up in the air, but that's a lot of damage! Oh man,
oh my gosh!
Now. Slava!
Oh, he backsteps out for a second, and there's so much damage.
1v2. This is actually possible. Slava can get this right, but that's gonna be the aerial damage in the end. Shadow he was going to be good enough to finish this off, but he's going to be the only surviving member in the end, picking up 41 points for his team in total. Jafu, you were talking about him as a blade dancer being so good at what he does, and even in Shackled Out, he shows his form once again.
Crazy. Crazy. I want to see how many kill points, but look at this on your screen. Global secret code.
Write
number
this down.
1.
Write
Copy
this down,
paste,
guys.
screenshot,
Copy pasta.
write it down. Yeah, copy pasta, whatever you gotta do to get this code in. You gotta do it fast.
Intel BST 2019 WC. It's easy to remember. It's Intel Bladeandsoul Tournament 2019 World Championship.
Wow.
Come on, guys.
Come on.
You can remember that one and put it into your PC right now. Turn on your
Yes.
PC, log into Bladeandsoul, and type this code in because it is all yours for the grabs.
Wow, it's weird to actually say grab the codes because we never, ever had
got
the
to say
chance
that.
to tell you guys, because we always used to just make fun of you guys, say, oh, that's the code for the Koreans. But now we have a global code for you guys, and we have many more. So stay tuned.
I can't tell you whether it's gonna be all caps or if it won't work without all caps, but you guys
gotta
try
try it.
both. You guys try both of it.
Gotta
but
try it.
my initial thought is just put it in all caps and most likely it will work. So I know we're supposed to be focusing on the first place team right now, but the global code.
No, that's hype.
That was a
That's
history.
it.
That was a history maker right there because we never were able to tell you guys grab the code, log into Bladeandsoul, and type that code in because you get the free loots that you'll never be able to get in a Korean tournament. So we're very happy to say that to you guys.
Yeah, and unfortunately for the first place team, blame the production for releasing the global code after the round 2 because I'm telling you, that's crazy. This, in I think 5 years of me casting Bladeandsoul, is the first time ever getting a global code. So
they said it. I mean,
be
it's
excited.
a global code. They said it. So you know, a lot of you guys are watching right now from the stream. Anything you guys can do, just copy pasta for your fellow viewers, and to make sure that everyone can join in on the fun. But look at this, Jacques Q from SCJB will pick up the most points in that second round. He will pick up 18 with 7 kill points and 11 rank points. So he was the only one from SCJB who was left alive at first in the end.
Well, either way, the code that just went out was a free code, and you know how you guys are always jealous of Koreans getting the free codes? That what you guys got from this free code is what the Koreans get. So there's no difference in the in the stuff that you get from the codes. And like we said, the what is that? The add-on thing from your internet thing?
Extension.
Extension, yes.
Right.
Not the add-on, but the extension code. It's definitely gonna be different items. Every time the code gets released, it's gonna be different. So just stay tuned.
So it hasn't been 50 minutes yet, guys.
No.
So you guys need to watch a little bit more
Yes.
Bladeandsoul tournament to gain those rewards. I know that 120 minutes is also a thing. So a lot more watching for you guys if you guys want to grab all the rewards. But for now, it is going to be round 2 concluded with the Chinese team, SCJB, picking up that win. We'll go to round 3 after a short break. We'll be right back.
is to defy convention and challenge expectations. So Intel will bring the processing power for when it's time to go. Brilliant. Frame rates that keep up with your reflexes. Brilliant. Fast clock speeds for when you're on the clock. Brilliant. It's what we do at Intel, powering you to master your potential. Will you rise? Intel. Unleash your brilliance.
Welcome back, guys. We're here for round 3, our final round before we go into this. A little bit of a break before we go into the second half of the broadcast.
Yep.
But 2 rounds we've had so far, and so far it's been looking pretty good towards the Asian teams, I would have to say. Korea picking up that first place in round 1 with HJH, and we've got China picking up the first place in round 2 from SCJB. So a lot of interesting things coming out in this first 2 rounds, kind of telling us that, you know, it really is not all about being passive and camping all around. That's not going to get you the most success in this tournament. Even though we're only fighting for the top 10 out of 18 teams today, it is important to know that aggression definitely seems like a part of the game.
Yeah, it definitely does. And you know, you're talking about how, you know, the Asian teams are finding success, and I'm looking at the rankings right now. On your screen, you have the total player rankings, individual player rankings, but I'm looking at the total kill, you know, rank points, everything added up for the first 2 rounds. And right now, SDJB is in first place with 61 points from China, right? And then second place, runner-up, is FNO, Fear No One, also from China with 54 points. So the 2 Chinese representatives are taking over first and second, and then in third we have the Korean team, followed by the Thailand team. So it's Shaifu Chen on SDJB. I'm pretty sure he is leading. He is doing the shot calling. He is picking the fights that he wants to fight or avoid. You know, I may be wrong, but that's what I'm assuming. And that SDJB is the only team that's actually been pretty consistent. First round they got 20 points, not bad, but not so great. Second round 40 points. All the other teams, even HJH, who got 40 points in round 1, got only 14 points in round 2. So that gap, SDJB, it's very close, it's very tight. They're doing a very good job. We'll see if they'll be able to continue this even in round number 3.
Yeah, we know that HJH, even if they pick up that first place in round 1, not doing as well in round 2 should worry them just a little bit, because even though they might make it to the top 10 after this day is over with, but you have to worry about the grand finals where the prize pool will be deducted away from you depending on how low you place in the total standing. So HJH, that first place in that first round should not be their ultimate goal. They have to be as more consistent as they can be. Now that we go into this round 3 here, first half of the broadcast, gonna be the final round before we get into a little bit of a lengthy break. But for now, you guys know that the Chinese teams have been stepping it up. Both teams coming from the Chinese region have been very successful so far, very consistent. See if they can do it once again here in round number 3.
All right. So we'll see. And I'm still, as we get, oh my goodness, are we getting an early fight here from Noonsong? Who is that? It is definitely
it's Muda versus NFC.
Okay. It's Noonsong Fan Club versus Muda, and this is super early game. Nobody has any items right now.
Oh my goodness, they're gonna lose a member right now.
Noonsong.
Oh, Shota is gonna.
Oh no, Tatsuki run!
Tatsuki is just trying to run away now.
Wait, they already have a toxic cloud there.
1 is all they need.
I was wrong about no items. Oh no.
Tatsuki just gonna get pulled out. 3v1.
3v2, they did come for back, yeah.
Satoshi did come in, but Muda, I think they're gonna really like this. Just trying to get 3 kills early, pick up those early 3 points, and trying to see what they can do afterwards. And just be losing so much HP.
Ooh.
See that?
He's trying.
Satoshi's trying to help out, but There's only very much that he can do. Satoshi coming in here.
Wait. Did he revive himself? I think he did.
No, Satoshi was always alive.
No, not Satoshi. The one member from... Oh, no.
It was Tatsuki, yeah. But they do get in a fight with a different team, though, number 16. I believe that's Guardian. Or maybe not.
No, it's Debug.
It's
Debug,
yeah.
okay.
So Muda doesn't want to go up against another team after they just got done with a fight. So Muda will be getting away with 1 kill collected.
Oh, but I think one of the members from Muda is caught here. Yeah.
On how long can he survive? And will his team come back for backup? It doesn't seem like it.
I don't think so. I think they're gonna just let him go.
See how long he can fight this one. As we're looking at Muda, the 2 players still thinking about coming back, but they're really exchanging calls right now to see whether coming back by reinforcement is the best thing to do. I think the Muda
they're coming back.
Coming back. You see the map falling that way, but now
Twan
is almost dead. If you look at the other members, Twan is so low on HP.
Oh, he backsteps into them.
Yeah, so
very unfortunate.
But unfortunate, but Muda Twan is going to go down now, and I think Muda should have at least come back a little bit earlier. They were a little indecisive as to whether to come back or not. But in the end, does lose a member in punishment.
All right. So we do get some early fights. I think compared to game number 2 or round number 2, there's a little bit less of an early skirmish here going on, even though we did see 3 players go down early game. But still better than losing like 10 to 15 players early on, like game number 2. So everybody, it just seems like they're slowly finding their position, slowly finding the area or the landmarks, as we say in other battle royales. They're finding the areas where it's safe for them to loot early game without losing or getting into unnecessary fights.
Yeah, we saw Stalker just for a minute there, but nothing big. We saw Extrema last round did pretty well, but they might get into a fight here. The gravity surge, bringing everybody down. It's going to be against STJB, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's actually going to be
Hide on Bush.
Hide on Bush, yeah. So they're going to go against Extrema, and they're not winning right now because Extrema is putting a lot of damage to their opponents.
I just saw a Strength Sapper being held.
See how much that makes a difference. So we look at Maxim, still trying to put in as much damage as he can in this skirmish.
All right, it's actually getting pretty back and forth here with all the heals going on. So we'll see who will come out on top, because here, if Hide on Bush or HOB loses a member or 2, it's a loss for them because they're currently in 7th place, whereas Extremum is at 11th. So a top 10 team losing early fights is definitely not worth it at all. So, if I was in Hide on Bush's shoes, I would try to find a way to run away if you think you're on the back foot.
This Extreme not going to back out of this fight. You can see that they're not letting them go.
Nope.
So what Extreme can do, it's a very, very lengthy fight that we're getting between these 2 teams. Item Bush still healing up, staying with Extreme. Blade Master from Maxim still going to do all he can, try to put in as much damage. Four teammates and one another. Big damage that comes through. It seems like HOB finally going to lose a member right there unless they can protect him. But Yasin will go down. So you can see that Extrema is now on the winning end of things, and this will probably give an option for a Hide on Bush to finally run away without question.
Well, yeah, they are trying to run away, and Extremum, as you see it, are kind of chasing in a way, but they're also running into the circle because Spirit Wall is closing in. It is early, so the Spirit Wall won't hurt as much. So, it did allow Extremum and Hide on Bush to kind of prolong that fight for a while, but now they're both moving in. But you can see on the mini-map that there are other teams around the edge of that circle.
Yeah, we're looking at QI. See what they can do. They're doing pretty well for themselves in this current standing at 4th place.
Yep.
Total standings. And they've been quietly shaking the ladder into their favor, and once again they are very much silently climbing up the ladder once again, with no one really around them to pick off unnecessary fights. You see Hide on Bush. Brother Bill is going to be standing where he can and
yeah.
See where his next destination ought to be.
Another team, Pengan-G, that we saw for a moment there in 5th place, playing it safe like they should. Any top 10 teams, if you're already in there, you don't want to lose a member early on because, like we said, individual rank points. So every time another player dies that's not your teammate, you're closer to just getting a 1 free plus 1 point.
Very true. Let's see. With MSD, My Sugar Daddy is going to be their name.
Yep.
But Sugar Daddy hasn't arrived quite yet, I would assume, because they're not doing so well in the first 2 rounds.
Not really. They're in 15th place. Round number 1, 12 points. Round number 2, 7 points. So that's, yeah, it's consistent of lower placement points, but, you know, you don't want to be consistent down there.
Well, it's consistently not having a Sugar Daddy in the first 2 rounds. That's for sure. So
Definitely.
when will the Sugar Daddy arrive? That's the big question for MSD from Japan. A team alongside Noonsang Fan Club, 2 Japanese teams who haven't done great in this tournament so far, but it's only been 2 rounds, so we got 4 more rounds to go, including this one, where we will decide the top 10 teams to go up to the grand finals next Saturday to find it out all the way until the end for that grand prize pool.
Yep. And Guardian here, you see on the minimap, there are 3 members alive. They're spread. So they're basically scouting and they're taking a large area, a large chunk of the in-circle terrain. But now they see other players coming in and you see on the map the circle is getting very, very small. So they're going to have to regroup to move as a team.
Still looking at the map, and you can see the Manticores have been summoned down into the map, so we'll see who's going to hunt them down first. The Midnight Manticore.
How many teams do we have here?
That's a lot of teams. I wonder who got the Manticore, though. That's really tough to tell. We'll find out in the late game. Whoever summons it is going to be the one that took it. You see another Manticore being hunted down by Team 4. What's going on here?
All right. So Blackout right now not having such a great start. Let's see if they'll change some things up because they're still in top 10. They're 9th place. But right now only going through 2 rounds. To be honest, other than the 1st and the 2nd place team, everybody else is very close.
Oh, no. MSD still absent of the Sugar Daddies. MSD is going to lose Mika once again. That is really unfortunate, but that's not how it's been for the past 2 rounds, and it's continued to be woeful for the Japanese team. It's DJB, a team that's been hot on fire. Currently 1st place overall in this tournament, representing China well once again with another kill.
Yeah, and this is actually one of the reasons why, you know, example of how Sugar Daddy Mika, I think it was Mika that got picked off just now. This is one of the reasons why we did get to see a lot of high ground camping because you get a lot of information. When you're on the ground, you're getting blocked by trees and houses and you don't know if your opponent is approaching you. But in the meantime, we do have another crazy fight going on. Strength Sapper landing beautifully onto the cat, not the player.
Oh, look at it. ABC just down.
Wiped!
Absolutely wiped by
Pengan-G.
Yeah, and from Taipei.
And a 3rd party comes in right away.
But it really doesn't make a difference because Pengan-G is so healthy after that fight. He didn't lose much health fighting into that one. Complete detonation of the Korean team. ABC going down just like that.
They did not expect that. I know at least Shingyun Kim is angry right now because in the qualifiers he was so confident. He was just killing everybody wherever they want. Look at this. Yeah.
Complete disappointment. That's a good angle. As you can see, it's really the sheer disappointment on Kelvin Park's face. We feel the same. We didn't expect that.
They definitely got outplayed right there.
They definitely did. But whatever it was, we know that Pengan-G got a lot of kill points right there and didn't even suffer from that 3rd partying that happened afterwards.
Correct.
Looking at Mr. X. Kind of looking for their spots. Of course, they're going to be staying out the circle, and once again, we do have 40-plus players in these last few circles that we have. 30 seconds left before the Spirit Wall does start to close.
So other than Team 1, you see on the minimap, right in the center of the next circle, everybody, most of the players or teams are playing the outside. They don't want to take a risk. If their position that they are at currently is safe, they're going to stay there and they're going to follow the Spirit Wall in because it's not going to be too fast depending. As long as you're ready and as long as you're not in a fight when it starts closing, all the teams that are playing the outskirts of the circle is going to be safe.
Penganji picking up those 3 kills will do a lot to their morale. Can they move on here and get
QI.
more kills? But we are looking at Unsan Fan Club once again getting themselves into a fight against QI, a team that we saw earlier trying to pick up a fight against STJB. Now it's going to be the target of the Japanese.
Ooh.
Toshi.
And they have to remember, QI is the team that has the second most kills in the first 2 rounds. As Fear No One has the most kills, and then it's STJB and QI tied at 11 kills. So one of the teams that is actually showing to be very aggressive and successful at the same time.
Yeah, we're going to see what Stalker can do as they try to come in.
Cow
There's-
actually gets picked off.
Yeah, QI Cow does get picked off, but Guardian losing a member in the meantime. So we're gonna get smaller and smaller in this circle. Now the fights will start to break out. We have 40 players left on this map. Guardian, after losing another member, has to kind of stay strong himself here, but not much you can do. The shackles around it. Abizer is gonna go down in time.
QI loses another member from Blackout.
Okay, so Abizer go down, but look at that. The strength sample is thrown right at the end here.
Oh my goodness.
A lot of damage, might be an exchange kill, but we're looking at BO, Blackout. Now starting to turn on the motor a little bit, getting these kills one after another. Let's see Alexei finish off that kill. Can they get a little more outside the circle as they still continues to close in 30 seconds? JH, a team that's been standing right dab in the middle, is going to be trying to defend now any team that's trying to come in from the outside.
Yep, they do get a kill. They actually pick off Jai Fu Chen. I just saw the kill feed, and that's a huge, huge pick off for HAH. In the meantime, Extreme actually doing pretty well for themselves. 3 consecutive kills, it said, on the left side. So they're picking up a lot of kills, doing well for themselves with all 3 members alive.
HAH still defending the middle ground. As every team in match has to come into this area. We're going to see the Master Hongs being summoned pretty soon here, I would assume. Well, you can see that the Invis has done so well to gain up on this. Maybe that's going to be in the far side.
All right, we do see a Master Hong come out from Blackout here. So I think this is the first time we see a Master Hong being used by a foreign team.
A non-Korean team, as you do say, but let's see what the Master Hong can do in this situation. You can see that HAH is still looking for the right situation to go in on, but Fear No One. See FNO just going here. Oh, look at that gravity surge doing a lot to pull everybody in.
And the ground ripple to actually push them out.
Yeah, but Tema is going to be still well and healthy after all that. And down to 21 members now. We are going to go to this late game. Sort of wondering who's going to be the one surviving until the very end. No one's still on the outside trying to do as much damage from distance.
Yep, right now Fear No One, they don't want any kills unless anybody approaches this area or this side. They're just staying grouped up. They're defending the terrain. They're basically telling everybody not to come here unless you want to die.
See the Master Hong still tanking for himself quite well. Enough some damage in the meantime, but does get kicked off.
Gets pushed, and he is staying down.
Come out alive and taking a lot of damage inside.
Alright.
And we're gonna go into this one. See that Tema wants a lot for this. Master Hong before the timer does run out.
Oh, that's a huge home run right there.
That is an absolute home run, and that will kill off the Master Hong. Blackout losing another member, and it seems like the Russian team is just not getting what they're wanting here. They're doing pretty well in this round 3, but not getting that incredible result I'm sure they were hoping for.
Well, that home run got rid of that one Master Hong we saw. I don't think we see any other Master Hong, so Blackout. Alexei getting 2 kills.
That's important, but we do see HAH with all 3 members still putting out the pressure. One more from them is going to be all smiles for the Koreans. Continue to look at this. Breaking out in the middle of things. Down to 8 members now. HAH trying to pick up that last touch and gain those kills for themselves. Get that kill credit.
Where's the support? Where's the support? HAH pushing one other member out. They're taking on everybody right now. This is chaotic.
Blackout does lose another member now, and we're going to look at HH looking like they're going to be the last team to stay alive. They can win this 3v1v1 scenario.
And I think it is possible for them. They're using they won.
So yeah, I think that's going to be the last touch, and that will be it. HJH, 2 rounds out of 3 that they've achieved that first place spot. So very, very well done for these guys. Definitely back up to first place overall with that win. But this team, ever since that first round, seems like they knew what they were doing. I feel like this round 3, just another stroke apart.
Definitely. And look at this. Another global secret code.
Get in there, guys.
Gosh,
2019
I love it.
new costume. Probably the easiest code that I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, usually it's like 2, 3, IB, 9, 8, 7.
Add a little sharp in there.
Yeah.
A little bit dollar
at,
sign.
Yeah, dollar sign, at, exclamation mark,
Hyphen.
question mark,
Semicolon.
7ZHG.
Oh my God.
Right? Like that's the code. But 2019 new costume, guys,
It's
you don't
not
even
that
need to
hard.
copy paste. You can go in and type it.
Literally.
Caps lock on.
If
type
you
it.
if you cannot memorize this code, I just think you're not built for Blade and Soul. I mean, you need some sort of memory to play a sufficient amount of Blade and Soul. If you don't have this much memory to remember this global secret code number 2, oh my gosh, guys, you guys might need to find it. Because 2019 new costume, that's the code. Get in there, earn those free rewards, and you guys can continue to enjoy this broadcast as is. Someone who's really enjoying the broadcast right now are the Koreans, because they're watching their team, HJH, do so well. Round 3 getting first place once again, and that will put them way over 80 points. I would assume close to 100 after 3 rounds.
Yeah, 97 points if I am correct. But
yeah.
wow. So that was a 43-point game for HJH. And this right now on your screen, we do have the individual rankings. And these are important as well to see which players are the black holes, right, for individual plays. And that's going to determine a lot. You guys can see for yourselves and say, you know, oh, this guy from this team is the one that's dragging this team down, because, you know, maybe the other 2 players are doing well. But look at this. Both of Hyukyan and Yunje from HJH, 11 points. Obviously, all 3 of them stayed alive till the end, but 6 kills, 3 killed, and 1 kill. So they're getting a lot of kills too.
And Summoners are looking good for this tournament. You can see that Summoner has been pretty popular in terms of choice when it comes to the players that have opted for that class for this tournament.
Yep.
We do have 9 players who picked up Summoner, and that's the 3rd most picked class in this tournament. So Summoners, very, very popular in the Shackled House format.
Yeah, and I also want to just tell you guys a little bit off topic here for the code, regarding the code, right? The first code that you guys got was for 3,000 people, right? The online code that you're getting. It's not all free. I mean, it's not unlimited. Code number 2 that you guys just got for the costume is actually 500.
Okay, the
first 500. After that, it's going to become invalid. So just don't be surprised, because, you know, it says invalid code. So that's going to be the case for the second half. Second half, we're going to get code number 1, code number 2. Code number 1 is going to be for 3,000 people. Code number 2 is going to be for 500 people for the second half. So right now, if it says invalid, you were a little bit late.
Yeah, I mean, if the client tells you invalid, the code wasn't invalid. You were kind of invalid for typing it so slow.
Joe!
I know I'm being a little bit mean, but
Joe!
you guys need to get your keyboard warrior game up, guys.
Yeah.
You guys need to get that speed on time, get that 100 words per minute, whatever it is that you need. First 500 to get the code. Since it probably said invalid already, I think 500 people already typed in the code.
Yeah.
So 2019 new costume, the code was easy, but typing it fast was your assignment. So if you guys didn't get it by now, perhaps you can wait for the next code to come out.
Exactly. So for the next code, I think we're going to have to wait at least an hour or 2 before we come back from that break that Joel was talking about. But yeah, I know you guys in chat are saying, you know, some of you got it, some of you saying it's invalid, what the hell. But
it's part of life.
That's life.
I
you
mean,
don't get everything.
Not everybody gets everything they want. It's a little bit unfortunate, but
I didn't get it because I was here.
Yeah, we
right?
don't
can't
have
get it.
we don't have our PC on back at home. Neither can we call our parents
Yeah.
type in the codes for us while we are here broadcasting for you guys. So we're back at the desk for whatever reason. I didn't get the notice.
Yeah, I think it's just, we're going to just recap what happened and before we go into that long break because that second half, I think it's supposed to start at 3 p.m. KST. So, yeah. So right now in Korea, it is 12:53.
Close to 1
So
p.m.
roughly, 1
Close to
p.m.
1
We
p.m.,
can
yeah.
say 1 p.m. So
Yeah.
we planned this 3 rounds to go to at least, 1:30 to 2-ish.
Yeah.
But the games were pretty fast, no technical issues. So, we ended pretty fast. It was a clean 3 rounds.
Yep.
So, we might have a little bit of a longer break than we expected.
About 2-hour break,
Yeah.
guys. So if you guys are watching this and want to come back to see what it's going to be like for the next 3 rounds, which will ultimately decide which 10 teams will be going to next week's grand finals, you're going to have to stay tuned. For 2 hours, do whatever it is that
Take
you
a nap.
wish. Well, I would play Blade and Soul for 2 hours. How about you?
Well, I didn't get my code, so I'm mad.
So we're not going to play. Actually, we're going to get some decent rest.
Yeah.
We're going to try to come back fresh for you guys so that we can enjoy a few more hours of this Blade and Soul tournament. It's a long day that we have, guys, but it should be all right once we get the top 10 teams. If your favorite team gets on there, should be happy. If they don't, better luck next time. Anything you want to say before we close out?
No, let's just go on to that break.
There you go. So we're going to close this out, guys. A few hours of break, 2 hours to be exact, and we'll come back at 3 p.m. Korean Standard Time for the second half of our broadcast. So stay tuned, guys. Watch for your favorite team. Play more Blade and Soul for 2 hours, whatever it is you need to do. I think I do need you to say something. We just need to fill more time.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
Nope.
We're
done.
good? Okay, so I think we're good. We're going to
I think
go
we're
on
good.
to it. So thank you guys for watching. A short break of 2 hours. We'll be right back.